Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a closer look at the Govee Glide. This is a smart modular wall light that composes of these bars that you can attach onto various shapes and then pop onto any wall and control it using a companion app or even using voice assistants. Allows you to fully customize the color of all the different sections of the lamp, so it is RGBIC, and it even has some preset modes as well that can dance and strobe to music, as well as in different scenarios where you may want to position it. Serves as an alternative to the Nanoleaf tile lamps that's also been popular recently. This of course just has a slightly different shape depending on what you prefer. Popping things open, we have just a quick start guide on top along with the bars, which are all individually wrapped. And we can make out how they do have some 3M tape on the rear, so you can just stick this onto the wall, and it will also be easy enough to just remove without needing to mount it with screws, for example. More precisely, we have 6 of these vertical bars, and then the 7th piece is really a corner connector style. So you only get one of these. Maybe it would be nice if there was a second corner piece included, allowing you to create some more complex shapes, but perhaps they'll sell expansion packs in the future. Aside from the lights, inside of the small box here, we also have the AC adapter. Plugs into this transition piece that houses the Wi-Fi unit and microphone, and then on the other end here, we have just another power adapter. Provides power to the entire thing once you get everything set up, just by snapping it into place. Setup is really easy. It took me just under 2 minutes to fully assemble and just tape onto the wall. So like other Govee smart home lights, you'll be able to find it once it's connected using Wi-Fi and then tap to just turn it on. As you can see there, it will remember the last mode that it was on, but you can also tap inside to take a look at additional controls for other effects and scenes that you can apply. Overall, it looks really modern, although arguably if you have a bed frame or a panel that is going to be flat in terms of the shape, instead of this one here that we have, which is a curve, it might look even cleaner. Things that we can do here include cranking up the brightness. It really does a pretty effective job of even illuminating the entire bedroom and making it possible to use it for reading, for doing some work. In fact, the minimum setting, it is super dim. In fact, it can act as just a night light. Even if you're sleeping, you can just have a very soft glow when you are going to the bathroom at night. As far as the other modes and effects are concerned, under the music tab, it will basically become an equalizer that reacts to the sound that you are creating through the microphone, and every time you talk or it hears music, it will strobe. And this is one of the effects that it's at bounce. There's another one here called energetic. We can change it also to one called rhythm, that you can see just flashes once. And if there's no sound, it will basically be continuously at one color. This is one called snake, as you can see there. So when it talks, these two light will kind of bounce when it hears sound. Now, next we can take a closer look at some of the preset colors. So this will just change everything to one color. By default, it starts off with the white light, and this creates the brightest, most natural looking glow. But you can also tweak all the different segments of the light to be a different color if you want to, and create other effects. Under scene, we can find other presets, such as natural. There is a ocean effect. The next one we have called forest is going to turn it to a yellow/greenish color. It slowly changes a little bit to give you some variation. Here's one called rainbow, and this one is a bit more of a gradient effect that just flashes across, as you can see. Also looks very beautiful. Another one here called desert, which is going to be more of this yellowish light, and another one here called meteor, which is just this light that is flashing across to the other end of the tube. One here called aura, which has a more gentle color, looks very clean and beautiful. Another one here called stream is one that's more of a, again, bluish light, but is slowly changing back and forth in a slower animation. And then the next tab over is called life, so we have even more modes. Night light, that's automatically going to change the brightness at the lowest setting. Romantic changes it to a slightly pinkish, reddish tone, and we have one called siren that is going to flash in colors of red and blue as well as white, as you can see there. Here is a party mode that it's going to be a bit more vibrant and popping. And we have another one called fight, which is just these two dots that are colliding together. Another one here called movie is just really a bluish color here. This one here called candy is just static. Fashion is another option that we have here that just diffuses the colors a little bit more. This one here called joyful. These one are no longer animated, but they just stay at one kind of position, as you can see there. You can choose if you like these patterns. Fireworks, this one here is a bit more dazzling, so it collides and then sparkles. Another one here we have meet, which is again these two dots are going to meet together and then go the other direction. This one here is called Technology, another vibrant choice, and there is also Candlelight. And the list continues with the third tab called Emotion Scenes, which have a few more options which are a bit more familiar if you've seen our previous videos of their night lights like the Govee Glow. These are more or less the same, so there is a slowly oscillating breathing mode. This one here called Gradient, which also will just slowly go through all the colors, one color at a time. And we also have one called Energetic. That's going to be more of a sharp flash between the colors. Sometimes if we zoom all the way in, the colors become a bit more obvious. You can see it's diffused, so it spreads a pretty even light, and again, everything is pretty well connected. It seems like one continuous strip. Now for Festival, we have a Christmas theme, which is going to be yellow as well as green and red. We also have a Halloween theme present, which is going to be just slowly changing kind of yellow, orange, and flashing, kind of an ominous tone there. And this one here called Birthday is also celebratory, kind of similar to the party mode that we saw, but with a few more colors. And we also have one called Valentine's Day, which is purple and pink. Finally, under Funny, we have a few more dynamic animations. This one called Stacking, which is just going to have these two dots slowly progress and until it reaches the full length of the tube. This animation is about a snake that is eating the pieces and getting longer and longer. Another one here called Strike, which is just these two pieces that are bouncing back and forth and changing color every time they collide. We have one called Bubble, which is going to just have these jet streams across the tube. And we also have one called Crossing, which is just, again, the two kind of bouncing but following each other afterwards instead of going in the opposite direction. Other options that we're able to take a closer look at would include setting up a timer so it can automatically turn off after different durations in the day or at night, so you can leave it on or off without having to open up the app every single time. It can act as a wake-up light to gradually get brighter, for example in the morning, to wake you up naturally. Now you can also find individual shades of colors which are all labeled in a lot of granular detail, different shades of reds, yellows, and pinks if you want to further tweak it and go even more in depth. If you're curious in terms of the brightness level, everything becomes very easy to read, especially if you are pointing at it, so you can get some work done, and it can act as the only source of light in the room, and it's still sufficient, I feel. Even if we turn on some ambient light, such as sunlight hitting into the room, you can see that it's still more or less visible, which is quite impressive, so it can still act as just an interesting decor or a background light in the room. Definitely is a conversation starter, as well as functional for things like work, as well as a night light. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the Govee Flow modular wall light, and as a whole, again, it has all the customization options that you could possibly want from any smart light, changing it to all types of different colors and special effects. You can check out more details if you're interested in the links down below, but for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.